All right, should be recording. Welcome to March 2021 Prometheus Ecosystem meeting. Crazy. March 2021. Anyway, yeah, we have a bunch of stuff on the agenda. And yeah, repeating again, be nice to each other. We are following the CNCF Code of Conduct. And with that, I don't think there's anything I have to say. Julian, you want to go and talk about a new Prometheus release?
Yes, so we have released Prometheus 2.25 with multiple big features like the remote write receiver and the at timestamp in PromQL. There were a lot of other changes, and like it was released 2 or 3 weeks ago, and we did not get any new bug report yet about this. So it seems like this is going to be a good release, and I encourage you to update. For the next release, which will come this month, so before the next community call, we will probably have a new service discovery, which is Scaleway, which is a cloud provider. And also probably we will have the exemplar support coming in the coming weeks. So I hope to get that before the next release, so we can play with that.
Very good stuff. Thanks for the update. So yeah, update to the latest version then. I think Richie isn't here. Julian, do you want to do this as well then? Because you initially put it in.
Yes, so the next PromCon will happen in May, and basically like we are in the CFP phase until Friday, so we have a short CFP because like we are aligned with KubeCon. So I encourage all of you to submit your talks to the CFP. So we are welcoming, the list of the topics is in the CFP itself, anything that we would accept. And basically like after that, you will have like, I think 2 or 3 weeks to record after you are accepted to record your presentation because it's a virtual event. So that's it. So please submit your talks before Friday if possible, and then we will do the review soon after that deadline. Thank you.
Awesome. I think you can just continue.
Yeah, I don't know if Bartek is there, but I don't see him. But basically, like we have got reports from the community that some people want to join the contributor awards from multiple time zones. So now instead of doing that in the evening in Europe, we are splitting that into different time zones.
Seems we lost. I don't know if he's able to come back to us. You can definitely hear him continue talking. So I guess yeah, like split the Prometheus Contributor Office Hours into 2 time zones, so everybody like from America as well as more like Asia countries can join and participate, and I think that's really great. So I guess it starts from this week onwards, similar to this call, 10 a.m. UTC and 5 p.m. UTC. So if you can make it to this one, I'm pretty sure you can make it to the other ones if you're able to. And I think we just got Julian back. We completely lost you there. So I just quickly talked about the Prometheus Contributor Office Hours split. So if you want to do the next topic, feel free.
Yes, so we have released the last Alertmanager in June, I think, but like we will do a new release probably this month. In the big feature, we have time-based muting so that you can mute the alert based on the time directly in the Alertmanager, like to do like holidays and that kind of things. And also negative matchers for alerts, which mean for silences, sorry, which means that like you can now create a silence for like non-prod or that kind of thing instead of needing to silence everything but prod. So this is like quite a nice improvement to the silence that has been done. And it was like a big work because, like, you know, there is the API, there is the engine, and there is the UI that needs to be updated. But like this is now all coming together, and it should be really, really this month. And like we will create a release candidate in the coming weeks. And I'm quite excited about it. And of course, like over the last 9 months, we also have a lot of bug fixes and improvements as well.
Awesome. Thank you for the long list of, of updates. Ben, I think you want to talk about the Postgres Exporter.
Yeah, so we just added another, adopted another project into the Prometheus community GitHub org. So now we have the Postgres Exporter that was the most popular community maintained one. There's quite a lot of work to catch it up to our normal build and release process, but we've made the first release of 0.9, which is basically cutting the current release as is, but with all of the usual Prometheus build process. Next up is adding multi-target support so that you can use it against RDS more easily. And other similar situations where you have an externally managed Postgres, you can't localhost deploy the Postgres exporter. And then, yeah, I also just want to mention, there's quite a lot of projects in the Prometheus community. We're always looking for more contributors, even if it's just answering bug requests and other issues on the in the issue trackers for each of these features. So if you care about Postgres, please contribute to the Postgres exporter.
Good time for anyone to update who's running a Postgres instance somewhere. That's for sure. All right, cool. Before we get into the ecosystem updates, I saw Rishi joined. We already touched the PromCon topic. Anything to add besides the CFP deadline is in 2 days? And it's online.
Mainly it, as you will have noticed, we are co-locating with KubeCon this time as a bit of an experiment and a throwback to 2016 when we had a Prometheus Day in Seattle. And we just see how it goes. We might or might not do a second PromCon later in the year, depending also on user feedback and such. So by all means, please tell us how you liked it with the co-location or didn't like it or whatever, of course, experiment. And please submit to the CFP. Like we told you, it's closing, but please actually submit because we are falling into this thing where people don't really apply for online conferences for all the wrong reasons, but like I get it, I have the same thing. Yet on the plus side, this means it's easier for you to get content in if you want to submit. So this is actually a plus for anyone who has a story which they want to tell. And if you need some help with sharpening talks or something, we have done this as part of community outreach a lot of times. So if you have an interesting topic but need a little bit help in polishing your thing, talk to us.
Right, awesome. Yeah, so definitely think about something and apply. Awesome, thank you, Richie. Then let's continue with the Prom Migrator. Whoever put that in.
Hello, everyone. Good morning and good afternoon. I am Harkishan, and me and Vineet will talk about Prom Migrator, PromScale, and TOBS. I'll give updates about Prom Migrator and PromScale, and then pass on for TOBS to Vineet. So with the intro of Prom Migrator, Prom Migrator is a data migration tool for Prometheus data, where you can migrate data from any Prometheus remote storage to any other Prometheus remote storage, or Prometheus local data to any remote storage system of Prometheus. So this tool is like immune to failures, which means it can resume the migration process from where it left off, and At the same time, it can concurrently pull and push data to multiple storage systems so that the throughput of data migration can be faster. For more information, we have a blog post on this, which explains about the project and the limitations. This link of the blog post is mentioned inside the Prometheus community meet talk. And right now, we have released a beta version of PromMigrator, and we are looking for more feedback on it. And talking about PromScale, we released a 0.2 version of PromScale, which supports multi-node in timescale DB, which is horizontal scalability. And then this version has improved PromQL query latency, which is up to almost four times the previous performance. Then we're also working on a new high availability method, which will be released in the upcoming release of PromScale. And this is inspired from Cortex. This new method will also enable you to scale PromScale independently based on your requirements. Further, the new release has features like the @@ modifier, which was added recently in in Prometheus, and this is by default disabled. And the release also contains various fixes and improvements, some like related to Postgres auto vacuum stuff. And I think that's about PromScale, and I'd like to call Vineet for updates on TOBS.
So hello everyone. So we at Timescale have been working on an observability suite called TOBS. So currently the TOBS project only supports monitoring. So you just need TOBS install and it installs the monitoring suite in your Kubernetes cluster. And it also provides full lifecycle commands such as if you want to change a password or update the configurations in Prometheus config. So yeah, we have released a new blog post on how does the project work and what does the future hold for the TOBS. And we also support added a feature like you can connect to an external timescale DB, like you have a managed timescale DB, you just give the URL and it just gets connected. All you have is the scraping things and the Prometheus in your Kubernetes cluster. And also we are currently working on the ways to integrate Kube Prometheus with us. So currently in TOBS, Prometheus doesn't support HA. We are just using the default Prometheus Helm chart, which has the Kube state metrics and node exporter as add-ons. But we are very much interested in adding Kube Prometheus as add-on to TOBS. So yeah, we are currently evaluating the Helm charts and JSON and how to integrate it into TOBS. Yeah, that's the update.
Awesome. Thank you for the 3 projects you just talked about. It's quite a list. Yeah, I think sounds good. And we can continue with the Prometheus operator. I think Pavel wanted to talk about this.
Yeah, so as for Prometheus operator, we just released the new release 0.46.0. This is primarily a stability release, but to mention some main points, we dropped support for Prometheus 1.x. That's a blast from the past. And we also created an adopters MD file and looking for companies that actually are using Prometheus operator to share their setups. Also on Kube Prometheus side, as the project was already mentioned, we switched the default branch to main following the Prometheus, but did the same. And the code refactoring that I was announcing in, I think, January is now complete. We are looking for users to migrate to a new setup. And the migration guide pointing out our major changes is also described. There's a link in the document for that. We are also working on a better UX for the project. We identified that it might be very hard to start with the project and to use it, since it's quite a lot of JSON code, which might be not familiar for many people. So we are working on something that should be solving that issue with more familiar tools, and we are very fond of we are looking forward to work with TOBS on the project.
Great. Thanks, Pavel, for the update. It seems like there's a tada emoji by TOPS maintainers. Glad to hear. All right. I think the last point would be networking and SNMP, etc.
Yep, that's me again. So many of you will have seen the document. I would invite the widest possible feedback if you care about networking, which more and more people in the Prometheus ecosystem do. As a FYI, both Ben and I plan to break a lot of parts about how SNMP worked in the past. We made a safe harbor release for SNMP Exporter for anyone who depends on the old style of working, and then we are planning to break how the config works and break a few other things. Everything is linked in the document. So if you want to work on that, or if you have users or people you know or yourself are interested in networking, give it a read.
All right, thanks, Richie. Good. I think that's pretty much it. I don't know if there are any questions regarding anything we really talked about. Give you a couple of seconds. You can also drop them in the chat if you want to. Seems everything was fully understandable and super clear at the same time.
I want to add that we had last week our developer summit for the Prometheus project, and I think that the recording should be on YouTube now, if I'm correct.
Yep, it is.
And
I already watched it. So yeah, maybe we can drop the link in the document as well later. Which is on it? Okay, cool.
Richie wanted to say something.
I'm just saying,
yes.
I'm linking the video as we speak. I'm just looking for it.
And yes, Lily, you are right that now it's open to the public. We send the announcement to the Prometheus developers mailing list. For the moment, it's the last Thursday of the month at 3 p.m.
European.
3 p.m. UTC, yes.
All right, I think if people are interested, that's really good feedback, so they can plan ahead and join next time. Awesome. Richie dropped the link in the
There's
chat.
also a playlist which I will link in the document, so you can, I think you can subscribe to just a playlist in YouTube somehow. So if you only playlist, you can also subscribe to only the playlist. That
makes sense. But also these meetings should be landing on the same YouTube channel, so you can just subscribe to everything. Just saying. All right. Anything else?
Actually, that's a good point. We discussed this with Inteam recently. So we are experimenting with putting more content on the YouTube channel of Prometheus, and I would love to see more Thanos content as well. What do the non-Prometheus team members on this call think? Does it make sense for Prometheus for the Prometheus channel to also publish stuff about friendly projects, or is this a diversion?
I'm not speaking up as Thanos maintainer, so maybe we can make like a poll somewhere, like maybe Twitter poll. I know there are a bunch of people who aren't on Twitter, but it might be able to give us like a rough idea. Lily is asking, how do you choose which ones qualify?
Prometheus Family, and I know that family is a contentious word, but basically projects which are near to Prometheus by their history and acts in the past. So I would see, for example, Cortex, Thanos, Open Metrics. I would say that things like the operator, cube state metrics, all those things which are historically super near to Prometheus are part of this, but if we find other stuff to experiment with, I think more is better than less. I mean, the counter argument, which I'm now making for Frederick, is that it dilutes a little bit. So that is the counter consideration, which I also think is a fair point, but I think on balance. But yeah, this is not about discussing or rehashing the team discussion. It's about getting feedback from what the people subscribe to the thing want.
Not having participated in the previous discussion, and yes, I'm a Thanos maintainer, I generally see that probably a bit more activity is still possible with the Prometheus YouTube channel. So I don't see like a reason not to put more on there because it's been pretty quiet. So that's just as far as my opinion. So what the actual scope is, we can discuss offline, I guess. But I'm kind of like, I'm thinking that probably, yeah, there's like room for more content still, because it's quite a little. I don't know. Yeah. All right. Anything else? All right, I think then let's give everybody a few minutes back and see you in April for a call at 5 p.m. I think, UTC. Remember to submit PromCon proposals if you want to do a talk. Update to the latest Prometheus version because it's awesome, and check out all the rest people were talking about. All right, have a great week. Bye-bye.
Bye.